Well, appreciate you taking some time to chat with me today.
No, please. I mean, I'm. Thank you so much for doing it first thing in the morning. It's very
Oh,
kind.
oh, no worries at all. It's 11 o'clock here, so I've been up for a little
Oh,
bit.
you're fine.
Yeah,
You're
I'm
fine. You
fine.
know what? You could have lied to me and been like, it's 6 a.m., but I have to get it done.
But at least I'm not sleeping until like 10:30 like I have before.
Oh,
So,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
so
Progress, progress.
yes, yes. So, Harry, first off, tell me, how excited are you for My Oxford Year to release on Netflix?
I'm so excited. I can't believe it's I mean on the day of recording tomorrow, which feels yeah, I don't know. I'm so excited for people to see it.
Definitely. So you played Charlie Butler. Can you tell us more about this character and what it was like bringing him to life?
Yeah, so Charlie Butler is a student at Oxford University. And he, I guess, considers himself a bit of a heartthrob, a bit of a Lothario. Um, and yeah, has just come back from like a summer of fun.
Mhm.
And he meets Anna, who's obviously our lovely Sofia Carson, our lead, and kind of like assists her in acclimating to life in Oxford and life in England. But yeah, and bringing him to life was so lovely. We were really lucky with this project that we got. I mean, I had a pretty good idea of him as I was auditioning because I
Mhm.
think I've known people like him, and I
Mhm.
think also because I studied English at university myself, and so
Okay.
there's definitely I recognize that character. I was in
Yes.
lectures with that person, even if I wasn't him myself. And we were really lucky, Ian, like we did rehearsals before, so it kind of meant that I think obviously, especially when it comes to projects where you've got a friendship group and it's kind of like a dynamic there, I think it's so important to kind of get that time in to kind of build real friendships and real dynamics because I think that translates when there's something genuine there and a genuine connection there, I think that translates really well on camera.
Definitely.
Not only were we really lucky that we had time to rehearse and kind of get to know each other before the camera started rolling, but it was also, and I feel like it gets bandied around much, but we got on so well. It was one of the dreamiest jobs. It was one of those weird things where it kind of like I've stayed friends with so many of the cast in such a proper way. Like I went on holiday with Poppy a couple of weeks ago. I'm seeing Ez and Poppy tomorrow. Like I see them all the time. Obviously, Sophia lives a little bit further away, but she's there in spirit.
Definitely. That's awesome. And Charlie is also a queer character in a romantic story set against the backdrop of Oxford. How important was it for you to portray an authentic LGBTQ plus representation in this film?
Yeah, I mean, so important. I think it's one of those things, especially with romances and rom-coms, there's always been kind of the trope of gay best friend. And I think as a queer person, it's kind of like, firstly, what's lovely is that Charlie wasn't that. He had been given more to do and there was more to him. He wasn't kind of like just there to simply deliver exposition. It was like a proper character. And I think
Mhm.
that's so important as a queer performer. You want to kind of like, give a proper I don't know, a depth and a sharpness or texture to these characters that I think so often and historically have been overlooked. And I think that's kind of important in everything. Every kind of like, especially when it comes to queerness on screen, that's kind of always what I'm trying to do is trying to kind of show as many facets as possible. And I
Sure.
think yeah, I try and like take that portrayal very seriously because it matters to me when I watch it. So I assume that it matters to people when they watch it as well.
For sure. And does Charlie's journey intersect with the larger themes of love and identity explored in the film?
Totally. I think he's got a really good idea. He's got a really strong idea of what he thinks love is and
Okay.
what he wants from love
Mhm.
in the beginning. And I think it's like for him, it's very low stakes. It's very fun. He's very like, he wants to have fun. He wants to fancy people. He wants to sleep with people. He wants to like, no commitment, no connection.
Yeah.
And I think watching Anna's love story and also kind of like coming to face with like more of himself more, he kind of learns a little bit like, oh, maybe actually I'm shying away from a deeper connection because it's easier to, rather than it's because of something that I actually want to do. And that was an interesting arc for him, I think.
Definitely. Well, what else do you ultimately hope audiences take away from my Oxford year?
I hope that they take away, I hope that they think that all the cast is really good looking and fun. And that's the only thing that matters. No, I think it's such a fun story. It's I don't know. I think it's just it's one of those. I think that Sophia and James, and Corey's chemistry is just so. It was so fun to be around and so fun to watch on screen. And I think people are gonna really love it. I think their hearts are gonna build and then break.
Mm.
Some last along the way, and I hope it makes them want to visit Oxford because that's where I'm from. So it was great. It was great to do it there. It was really fun to kind of go back to the city that I had. Like, I grew up there, but when I was like much younger, so I kind of
Mm.
just went to the really basic shops, and so it
Yeah.
was so fun to like film in the city and kind of like go to all these amazing places that I knew were there, but just never went to, and was just always like, well, I guess it's like obviously I can see the Bodleian, but why I would go? I want to go to Costa. It was very much that.
Yes,
Um,
definitely.
but yeah, I think they're in. I think audiences are in for a fun ride. It's hot, it's funny, it's great.
Good, good. Can't wait to see it, or can't wait for audiences to see it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And as a queer actor yourself, do you feel a responsibility or perhaps a sense of pride when you are representing queer characters on screen?
Totally, definitely. I think I'm always I think it's always you know when I was watching TV, especially when I was younger or wasn't out, and you kind of see these queer characters, they mean so much to you because you're really zeroing in. So whenever I kind of am playing a queer character, I always kind of imagine that almost like younger me watching it. And
Mhm.
you want to see as much of a human as possible because then you can associate with it. And I think that's with a lot of the projects I do, with everything that I write, everything that I act in. It matters a lot to me, and it's something that I don't like take lightly.
Definitely. Well, what kind of LGBTQ plus stories or characters do you feel are still missing from mainstream media?
I think we need more assholes. I think there, I think that's really fun. I think people kind of like for a while it seemed I'm sorry, I'm seeing such a green bird outside my window.
No worries.
It's kind of wild. But no, I think yeah, something like that would be fun. I think there's obviously a fear that you don't want to like revert back into that like snarky gay person, but I
Yeah.
think there's fun in that ferociousness. I think like so many like queer people have to be so ferocious to get by, and that quickness I think is really fun to play with. Um, so that yeah, more assholes basically.
So-
Love them, love them.
we all love assholes.
We all love assholes. Yeah. Sorry, actually, as a full quote, terrible.
Well, Harry, has acting always been your passion?
Yeah, it really has. It's one of those ones that it does every so often. I kind of have to like pinch myself to be like, oh, this is actually my full-time job. What on earth? I've always loved it. I've always loved. I've always loved being part of a group making something. I think so. Obviously, I started by doing plays and plays at uni and plays at school. And I always loved that, like the rehearsal process and like getting to know people and having inside jokes and just like, I don't know, the fun of it all. I've always really, really loved it. And I think, or I hope I bring that energy to each project I do, kind of no matter what the scale is, whether it's like, a small student film or a small short film or like a bigger scale Netflix project like this. And I think when you're working with people like you have on my Oxford year, it makes it very easy to forget that you're doing something that so many people are going to see because it does just feel like, I don't know, yeah, a group of people making something,
Yeah.
um, and having inside jokes, of course. God love them.
Yes, definitely, definitely. Well, you recently played a Tuffnut in the How to Train Your Dragon live action film. How was it stepping into that beloved franchise?
It was, oh my God, like literally stepping in was so fun because the sets were unbelievable.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was they've created such a stunning world, like the people that made the sets and the people that made the props and everything. It really was it. I don't know, when you're younger and you think of like being an actor, you almost like dream of that kind of thing. That's what you almost like think being an actor is. And so actually doing that
Yeah,
um feels so special. I think all of us that were making it kind of knew that we were doing something very special, and this isn't an experience that you get every day. So we really like tried to soak it in as much as possible. I mean, I say that, and then obviously you'd like start complaining when you wake up very early. But I tried to say like, "Oh my God, this is amazing," and
I
it
just
was
keep
very
the positivity.
easy. Keep the positivity, absolutely, in the
Love
cold mornings in Belfast.
exactly.
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
excited to start work on number two. Very exciting.
Yes, definitely. And it's also been announced that your debut novel, The Romantic Tragedies of a Drama King, will be developed into a feature film. What can you tell us about that?
So it's being developed at the moment into TV,
Oh, okay.
but I
Okay.
know, but it's really it's always I think historically I've written more. So I've always written, but I've and actually written more scripts than I have books. So this is my first book, and so I think as I was writing it, I was imagining it quite visually. So I really saw it as I was writing it. So it felt like quite a an exciting prospect to be adapting it myself. And it's obviously it's a world that I know so well now because I've lived in it for so long and I
Yep.
care so much about the characters and I'm working with like the dreamiest team who have just made that world so much better and so much more real and who care about it as much as I do. And I think that's so important.
Definitely.
And again, you know what? If we wanted like problematic queer characters, we've got the lead of Patch, who is so bullish in his pursuit of love. It's quite nuts, and he's got to like kind of learn that
Mhm.
that although yes, he is the main character of this, he needs to also think about other people as well.
Sure.
But yeah, it's been really fun, and also kind of I guess with turning it into TV, it's kind of like imagining what the world looks like, and also it's also kind of a dream to go over something that you've done and kind of be like, oh, okay, I actually want to tease this out a little bit, and I want to explore this a little bit more
Definitely. Yeah.
and the different like dynamics and kind of like looking more at Jean and looking more at Patch and just like the different levels. It's a really lovely process. Um, I still wish I had like a writing process. You know, like you hear those books that like people are like, I wake up at 6 a.m. and I write 8,000 words. I still have yet to find my process, but I'm working it out.
You're working out. Just let it go. Go with the flow.
Yeah. Go with the flow, exactly. My
Well,
my 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 like producers reading this will be like, no, don't go with the flow, go with the flow. Do that.
you'll find your process in due time.
Sure, sure,
Yes.
sure. And
Yeah,
then I'll tell everyone.
exactly. Yes. Well, Harry, how can one stay up to date with you the best?
I think Instagram I'm probably the most up to date with. I think that's kind of my main one. TikTok I'm bad at, but I'm trying to get better at. But I'm just Harry Trevaldwyn under all of them. Weirdly, nobody took the word Trevaldwyn, so it was pretty easy. Pretty
There you
easy to
go.
find him. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes, perfect. Well, then before we wrap up, are there any other upcoming projects or anything else you'd like to mention or plug at this time?
Well, I'm working on my second book at the moment. So just kind of in the editing phase, which is very fun. The TV show, and then a couple of other things, but annoyingly nothing that I can say properly now. But hopefully more on this soon.
All right. Well, stay tuned. Perfect. All right, Harry, thank you so much for your time. It was a pleasure.
Lovely to speak to you, Denny. Thank you so much.
You have a wonderful day. Bye bye.
Bye.